Centaurus is a ASX listed company focused in Brazil, and right now our focus is on the Jaguar nickel sulfide project, which we acquired from Vale last year. We've been doing a lot of work since we acquired the project, and I think coming this week we've announced a very substantial nickel resource, and the combination of that, where the project is located, and the people that we have behind the project, I think we see ourselves as an undervalued nickel story when you look at some of the peer valuations that are going on the ASX. So if you're an investor looking at Centaurus now, very good quality project, right location, good people, and undervalued. So we would premise our investment on that basis. Yeah, look, Jaguar is in the Carajás mineral province of northern Brazil, very prolific mineral belt. We were able, and I guess very fortunate, to be able to do a deal with Vale last year, and that was really part of them rolling out their mini mines model in base metals. We swapped out a grassroots copper gold asset in conjunction with some cash consideration and some deferred payments to be able to acquire Jaguar. But it's a very advanced project for us, so it was really making that leap from a grassroots project into something a lot more advanced that we're able to get our teeth stuck into. It's quite amazing to be able to put out the resource recently. It's 500,000 tonnes of contained metal, so that's 48 million tonnes at sort of 1.1% nickel. I guess comparing to what Vale had originally had on it, it's slightly bigger as far as tonnes goes, certainly significantly better as far as grade goes. I think that's a function of the constraining the model and some of the new areas which we've been able to target. But importantly, within that, there's a high grade component to that, sort of 20 odd million tonnes at sort of 1.56% nickel for over 300,000 tonnes of contained metal. So that's going to be important for us. There's probably 70% of that mineralisation in the high grade component is sitting in the top 200 metres. So, we're quite comfortable now that we're going to have an open pit mining operation there. Obviously, we've still got to do that work. But it is very, very significant because you just don't see these opportunities on a global basis for open pitable mining of nickel sulfides with that sort of grade. Yeah, most definitely. I guess, we feel like we've only really scratched the surface as far as the exploration work has gone. We've used Vale's data. The historical drilling, we've done some more of our own drilling around the known deposit areas. We think that we can extend those known deposits along strike in shallow locations, and that work will be ongoing. We also think there's a huge opportunity to be able to explore and extend the mineralisation at depth, and we see that there's a number of very strong downhole conductors, electromagnetic conductors there, which we haven't yet tested. And in the Carajás, that really is a great tool to be using to identify massive sulfide mineralisation. So in time, we'll get in and drill those deeper holes. And then I think there's regional prospectivity on the tenement package that's just not been explored before. So there's work that we're doing now, closing in the spacing on the ground mag work, closing in the spacing on the soils. We'll do some fixed loop EM work to generate drill targets, and then hopefully by the end of the year we're in a position where we can go and drill those. So I guess combination is along strike, extensions of the known mineralised deposits in shallow locations, deeper targets, and then also some of the regional targets. Look, I think it's a little bit of both, but So we don't want to lose sight of the fact that we've already got a very significant deposit on our hands, and we're now rolling into feasibility or scoping study first, but then feasibility study work after that. But concurrently with that, we intend to keep on drilling and continue to grow the size of the resource. We think already with 500,000 tonnes of contained metal, that's going to put it on the radar screen of some fairly significant players in the market. It's a significant global scale resource. But at the same time, we need to do the work. We need to show that we can get this project into production. And that's really starting with the scoping study work now, and then sort of progress that through into pre-feas and feasibility study work. I guess the Carajás to me is one of the sort of world's best mineral provinces. When you look at the deposits that are already there, they're huge. So you've got the Salobo copper mine. It's over 1 billion tonnes of copper. There's a number of undeveloped IOCG deposits there, probably 10 with plus 100 million tonnes of mineral resource. You've got the massive S11D iron ore deposit and their Serra-Norte operations of Vale. This is the best quality iron ore in the world. And you've got Onça Puma as a ferro-nickel operation of Vale. And I guess with that now, with 500,000 tonnes of our own metal, we feel like we're going into that phase of being someone that's very significant in the region. From an ASX perspective, Oz Minerals have moved into the area. They acquired Avanco Resources in 2018, and I think they're working through their various deposits in the region for copper. So I think they quite like the region, and there's no reason why you wouldn't like the region. A lot of infrastructure, everything you need to build a project is there, and that comes from 40 years of Vale working the region. Being in Brazil, it's definitely had impact, but I'd say for us that it's relatively minimal. We've put in place a number of protocols to keep our employees safe. We've been working with the local health departments. We've been supplying them with equipment that they can use within their own communities. So that's all gone along well. So what it meant for us is that when COVID came along in Brazil, we slowed down our drilling rate. We went from 3 rigs on double shift back to 2 rigs on single shift. That's still the case at the moment, but we're looking now to ramp up our drilling again. We've got the protocols in place. They're working effectively. We've been able to test our employees. So we're in a really good position and quite comfortable that we can now ramp up activity again, knowing that we've got a great framework to be able to manage any risks. As just alluded to, we've got 2 rigs going at the moment. They're operating at the Jaguar Central and Jaguar North deposits, where we're targeting some of the shallower, high-grade mineralisation in the historical Vale drilling. We'd expect to get more results coming out of that towards the end of July. And from that, we'll then be looking to ramp up our drill activity, hopefully bringing back on the 3rd diamond rig that we had operating there before, and then also bringing in an RC rig, which will allow us to do more of that infill work a little bit quicker in some of those shallow locations, but also allow us to do some pre-collars on some deeper diamond holes, which will then allow us to sort of target some of those interpreted deep zones of mineralisation or deeper zones of mineralisation that we think are there, as evidenced by the downhole conductor plates. I've been sort of running Centaurus since 2009. We've principally been in Brazil that whole period of time, and we've built a really strong team in country, and I think that's probably one of the strongest assets of Centaurus, is that we have a team in Brazil, and that's been, I guess, one of the main reasons why we've been able to operate continuously during this COVID period. We've got a country manager that lives in Belo Horizonte. It's been with us since 2010. We've got our exploration manager based in Tucumã who oversees the whole exploration team. So he's on the ground, managing all of the activities that we need. Our operations manager, Roger Fitzharding, is lived in Brazil for 12 years. Is fluent in Portuguese. So all of those things play into having a really strong team that knows what they're doing in Brazil. And then I guess overlaid on that, we've got a board that's got a wide experience in the resource space, and guys certainly with nickel experience. So combination of the board with the management team, time in country, I think all of that's playing into us being successful in Brazil. And now that we've got a fantastic project in Jaguar, you're combining all those attributes together between the people, the location of the project, the quality of the project, and that's, I think, overall going to make us very successful. Yeah, look, I think there'll be a lot of drilling activity. So as we've touched upon a little bit already, there'll be drilling of known extensions along strike. So some of those will be sort of looking at those shallow, high-grade intersections that Vale have had previously and trying to get, extensions of that. There'll be drilling at depth. There'll be new targets coming out of the regional locations. But then overlaid, we have, the scoping study activities ongoing. We would believe that will be positive and that we'll be able to feed into pre-feasibility study work probably towards the end of the year. So the next 3 to 6 months are extremely busy for us. And I think that the results that flow from that work should really start to come through in the market. And I think people can look forward to a really positive 6 months.